What is up, ladies and gentlemen? But most of all, you ladies out there, thanks for clicking on another episode of Break the Silence. I am your host, Cyborg. Nikola Jokic is win padding again. Split out! We just got done watching what was, in my opinion, the best performance of the NBA season by a team. The Denver Nuggets took down the Memphis Grizzlies 113-97 tonight. A team that is heavily disrespected, a superstar in Nikola Jokic that has been highly disrespected this week. And we're going to talk about Nikola Jokic, we're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets, we're going to talk about the truth and the reality about this team and their superstar. This was a matchup between the 1 and the 2 seed in the Western Conference. Memphis was 4 games behind Denver going into tonight, and this kind of shuts the door on that season series, making it almost no chance that Memphis could come back and take the 1 seed. This will be the first time that the Denver Nuggets have ever had the 1 seed in the Western Conference. Obviously, any conference, because they've only been in the West. The Denver Nuggets now have their best roster that they've ever had. They're a team that, in my opinion, is the best team in the Western Conference and is continually getting disrespected over and over again. I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive into some of the comments. So there's a couple different things I heard this week that have been very frustrating to me. And let me say up front, the Denver Nuggets are not my childhood favorite basketball team. I am not up here as a biased observer of the Denver Nuggets. I simply call basketball the way that I see it. And the way that I see it is that the Denver Nuggets are the best team in the Western Conference, and they're highly disrespected. Colin Cowherd said on his show that the Denver Nuggets are the 6th best team in the Western Conference. He said on his show that if they were to play the Lakers in the first round, that the Denver Nuggets should be scared and he would favor the Los Angeles Lakers in that series. It boggles my mind how time and time again a team can prove to you how good they are. And in the Lakers case, can prove to you how not good they are. Yet, time and time again, we give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt and we just crap on the Denver Nuggets. And I'm so sick and tired of that. We're going to talk about why that's so dumb. Before we get into the deep discussion, take a second to subscribe to the channel. We're up over 1,000 subscribers, and we are growing and grinding, heading in to the playoff season, and we're going to be doing content every night when the playoffs come around. So, and we're going to talk a ton of Denver Nuggets basketball. You see on this channel, I think most of our fan base is Denver Nuggets fans, because I'm so high on the Denver Nuggets, and I seem to be the only person that is. So let's talk about this game tonight. So what was so impressive about this performance tonight is, yes, Nikola Jokic did his thing. He had his 18 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists, and that's a typical fantastic Nikola Jokic performance. Was a plus 16, led the team in plus minus. But the thing that's so impressive about this Nuggets team to me is their depth and how much contribution they get from so many guys. Jokic only took 10 shots tonight, but you got 26 points from Michael Porter Jr., who was excellent. Aaron Gordon gave you 13 points, and he's very capable of giving you more. Tonight, he didn't have to take a lot of shots because they played so well in other facets. Jamal Murray is all the way back, gave you 22 points. And then Bruce Brown, 15 points off the bench. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope gave you 8. They played elite-level defense in the second half, holding the Memphis Grizzlies to 39 points in the second half. This is a team that is second in all-time in offensive rating, and is a very good defensive basketball team. If you look at the end of November on, this Denver Nuggets team is a very good defensive basketball team. And that's one of their heavy critiques. Will they be able to get stops? Well, we've seen that they can. And in crunch time, their numbers are even better. So when the game slows down and when you need to get a stop, that's when the Denver Nuggets are at their best, and that's when they play their best basketball. And I want to spend a second here first talking about Nikola Jokic and Kendrick Perkins, and I am saying people's names because I think it's good to have context of what was said. Saying that Nikola Jokic was a stat patter, saying that Nikola Jokic was favored because he was a European, saying that guys who are Europeans don't often get the same critiques that American-born players get. And all of that is so irresponsible, in my opinion. I think that as someone in the media like Kendrick Perkins, who's on ESPN, which is supposed to be the worldwide leader in sports, is what they call themselves. It is important that when you talk and when you give an opinion, it is based in facts, it is based in reality, and it is not so irresponsible is the word that I keep coming back to. This is irresponsible for Kendrick Perkins to come out and say something so blatantly false. Tonight, Nikola Jokic took 10 shots. To compare Nikola Jokic to Russell Westbrook, and I don't want to get on here and hate on Russell Westbrook. There's more than enough of that on the in the media, on YouTube, wherever you want to find it on social media. I'm not going to sit here and crap on Russell Westbrook. But to compare what Nikola Jokic does in his triple doubles to what Russell Westbrook was doing when he was the 6th seed with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and in fact, you could say, I think the critique of Russell Westbrook a couple of those years is a little overstated. That Oklahoma City Thunder team was terrible, and he almost needed to do what he did to get them to the 6th seed. But Nikola Jokic is the most efficient basketball player we've ever seen. That is the opposite of Russell Westbrook. He had 10 shots tonight, had 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists, led the team in plus minus. They're 25-0 this season when he has a triple-double. When you're talking about the MVP case and the MVP narrative, there are so many things that can be used as criteria. And yes, people complain about the criteria always moving. But if you have a set criteria, I don't think it always would get the right answer. If you do the best player on the best team every year, if, for instance, the Boston Celtics finished with the best record this year, to me, Jason Tatum is not more valuable than Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. If you said Kendrick Perkins was saying some nonsense about being the leading scorer, Bradley Beal was the leading scorer a couple years ago. That, to me, should not be the case for the MVP. Making your guys around you better or having bad teammates, that also cannot always be the criteria. Nikola Jokic is the best player on the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Check that box. He's the most efficient player in the NBA by far. Check that box. Statistically, analytically, the best player in the NBA. Let's check that box. And a lot of people hate the analytics and hate to go into that. So let's take those out of there. He makes every player on his team significantly better. Aaron Gordon is an all-star level player now that he's playing with Nikola Jokic because of how good of looks Nikola Jokic is able to get him. Michael Porter Jr. Is an awesome basketball player. I'm a big fan of his. But Nikola Jokic, the way that those two play with each other is unbelievable. It almost forces the opposing team to play 4-on-4 because you have to keep a guy locked on to Michael Porter Jr. wherever he's standing on the wing or in the corner when Nikola Jokic has the basketball in the post. The elite skill level of Nikola Jokic gives him the ability and the height to see over any of the defenders. He sees the court so well, and he can make any pass on the floor. So when he's in the post, if you decide to double off of someone, if you decide to double off of Michael Porter Jr. and come in and double Jokic, he is going to find the open man every time. And that's why he averages a triple-double, because he's such a good passer. He's so good in the post. He leads the league in post offense. So when he gets down in the post, you're almost helpless because you either try to double him, which is a horrible mistake because he's going to find the open man, or you leave him one-on-one in which he scores so efficiently. So when you're having this MVP conversation, you're talking about this dumb narrative that's being pushed around that Nikola Jokic is a stat patter. It's just simply not true. Nikola Jokic doesn't care about his statistics. When they asked him how he felt about averaging a triple-double, his response was, ooh. That was his response. Nikola Jokic doesn't care about his statistics. He cares about playing winning basketball and playing basketball the right way. And that's the reason that his team is dominating the Western Conference so far. Now, yes, if you want to say the Western Conference is going to be tough, the whole NBA this year has a lot of good basketball teams. So I'm not going to say that the Nuggets are going to sweep through the West, but the Suns, I certainly have my concerns as far as depth. They're very superstar heavy. Can that chemistry pick up in the final few games? Memphis Grizzlies, they just whooped their butt tonight. The Sacramento Kings are an elite offensive team, struggle a little bit defensively. The Lakers, I don't think, will make the playoffs. Warriors have had massive health concerns all season. We'll see what happens there. Dallas, Luka, and Kyrie are going to play no defense. Since they've got together, they can't really win. They're not winning a whole lot of basketball games. Their offense is good. Their defense is terrible. The Denver Nuggets should absolutely be the favorites in the Western Conference. And tonight, they just showed you everything that they're about. They're led by a superstar that's unselfish, that can take 10 shots when everyone else is cooking. And they play elite level defense. They held the Memphis Grizzlies to 97 total points tonight. And if you do that on a consistent basis, you're down. They were down early in this game. Going into halftime, they were down 8 points. And they came back and dominated this basketball game. I'm highly impressed by the Denver Nuggets. I'm highly impressed with them every time I watch them. And it's time that we start giving them the credit that they deserve. But because they're a small market team, because Nikola Jokic is a European-born player, and we don't like to give credit to European-born players or non-American-born players a lot of the time, we're going to continue to disrespect them. And we're going to continue to crap on them in the media. So it is just my hope that this Nuggets team makes the finals so that we can finally shut up all these haters and all these people that are giving irresponsible takes that aren't true and that are kind of disrespecting the game of basketball. It's so important when you're talking about a sport that's global and that so many people care about and that so many people love, to make sure that you're being accurate in your analysis. Accurate in your analysis is so important. And that's what I'm trying to do when I get on here and I talk about games. I call the game as I see it, and it's not biased at all. I have no ties to the Denver Nuggets. I have no ties to any of these basketball teams. I'm a Celtics fan, and I don't believe that they'll come out of the Eastern Conference. I don't have bias towards any of these teams. We got to call the game as we see it. We got to analyze basketball the correct way. That's all we got for you as far as this game's concerned. Big win by the Denver Nuggets. Cyborg out.